thanks for checking out today's episode. We are joined by the Graveyard Shift with Frank and Amy, also known as the Everything is Scary podcast. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, no problem. So tell us the difference between the Graveyard Shift and Everything is Scary podcast. Like how do you guys kind of separate the differences?
Well, let's see. I'll let Amy go first because the Everything is Scary podcast is kind of what came first, and she's part of that. Okay. So I'll let her take the reins, and then I'll jump in.
All right. So the Everything is Scary podcast, we are basically a movie horror culture, like reviewing kind of group. It's 3 of us. It was 2. Mm-hmm. Then Jen had a baby. I snuck in while she was on maternity leave. And when she came back, they decided to keep me.
Oh, there you go. That's
cool. Did you let Jen back in?
Yeah.
Is the baby?
I was trying to steal her job the whole time anyway, yes, but I'm glad she's back.
So what is the
Frank, you want to explain what the Graveyard Shift is?
Okay, so for me, during that time period where Jen, like we mentioned, Jen was going on maternity leave, about to have her baby, I was brought in by Kyle Clark, the main host. Basically, I've been running the social media for his podcast, This Is Rad, so he wanted me to run the social media for Everything is Scary. So during that time, I had to figure everything out. Amy was just about to come on board, and I kind of want to just get to know her because I, hadn't met her yet. And during that time, Kyle got busy with certain stuff, so it kind of was just me and Amy for a hot minute, mm-hmm. In between either a lack of episodes, and I was like, this new channel needs content. So I was like, Amy, how do you feel about maybe I don't know, putting up some little episode bits or maybe hosting an hour-long thing? And she's like, yeah, I'm down. I'm like, well, she said, yes, I guess I have to do this now. But basically, it's kind of the lighter half of what Everything is Scary is. Everything is Scary, more serious, heavy horror movies. On the Graveyard Shift, we tackle usually more goofy stuff, a lot more lighthearted things. Usually we have a running theme throughout the month, so that's kind of what it's been. And we're coming up on a year, actually.
It sounds like you guys both benefited from Kyle and Jen getting busy. So congrats on that.
I know. I feel very grandfathered in. This was all just serendipity. And I think the way I see it, the big difference between the podcast and what we do on Fridays mm-hmm. is on Fridays, I don't go full Amy. Maybe occasionally I do, but the first episode I jumped in on for Everything is Scary, I picked the remake of Queen of Black Magic.
Okay.
From Indonesia. Don't know if y'all have seen that one, but it is nasty.
Nice. Nice.
That's usually up Josh's alley for films. Did you check that out, Josh?
No, but I'm gonna go back and put it on my list as soon as this is over. So there you go.
Yeah.
I love foreign film, especially Bollywood films, but everyone's like, oh, it's India, and I'm like, no, Bollywood encompasses a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were on.
I've really been getting into Indonesia, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Just there is some gnarly stuff over there, and it's just so creative in a way that Americans just aren't.
Yeah. Yep.
They've had some crazy stuff for a while, and America's just catching on now.
Yeah, we just like to make reboots and stuff of the same film over and over. So yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like when Saw came out, and everybody thought that this was a new genre. It's like, have y'all seen the guinea pig movies? This is not new.
Yeah.
we have an amazing ability to actually make a movie less cool. I think the Inside remake, the French version blows it away, and it's the American version's so tame compared to that.
Yeah.
That's a talent, I guess, to make a movie less cool.
Americans remade Guinea Pig. Did you see that?
Yes.
I haven't gotten into those yet. I think just because I see American, I'm like, what could y'all add? But I have become familiar with the Unearthed Films website where you can watch also some really gnarly stuff. Although I'm just going to come out and say it, Serbian film, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Overrated.
Come Come on, not bad.
That's one of Dave's
As the
favorite
one
shows.
lady here, I'm just gonna make that clear.
Yeah. So I see you have your Yoda ears on. So that was like one thing that always stuck out to me when you guys first kind of messaged us, you know, and then I checked out the page. You guys dress up on the graveyard shift on Instagram. So Frank, I'm a little let down that you didn't dress up today, man. What's going on?
Well, you know, what's funny is that I'm actually preparing to go to a big convention in DC. So actually a lot of my costumes are packed up right now.
Okay.
So that can always change. I can always grab something from my corner that's weird or wacky. So don't put it past me. I just might. But the whole dressing up thing, I'm trying to think, Amy, was it Orca was the first thing we really like dressed up for, I think, right?
I mean,
because we've been dressing
that's
up.
when we really got into it. Because I'm pretty sure it was something that you pitched right away, like we could dress up.
Yeah.
And I got these for Christmas, and there's something about putting on a pair of Baby Yoda ears that just suddenly you just take life a little less seriously. It's very comfortable.
Oh, definitely. Because that's one thing that's right now, like I had seen, you know, some like with us running the page, we have like so many followers and everything like that. And you kind of see people go through certain things in their life, you know what I mean? And so right now I kind of just seen something in the story about like a girl that usually does like cosplay. Because like most of the time, like I'm pretty sure you see on our page, I put up like cosplay of the week, killer cosplay of the week.
Yeah.
And
totally.
so, you know, one girl kind of posted, you know, doing cosplay kind of like helped me in life with my depression and everything like that. And then like I think like creativity, sometimes people get blocks, you know what I mean? And then like go through life and they kind of lose that fun that they had doing cosplay and they kind of get stuck. And so she's just like, you know, I'm thinking about kind of doing this again to kind of like make me happy, you know? So I definitely messaged her and said, definitely do it, you know? Yeah. You know, you got to keep pushing to kind of make yourself happy, because in life, that's what it's all about, you know, just doing something that it's cool for you. So like when we go to conventions and stuff and we see everybody dress up, I think it's awesome because you put the time in, and it's definitely changed the like whole aspect of Halloween, you know, because everyone's just sitting there being creative and coming up with like these new costumes instead of just going to the store and just buying like this you know, costume that's been made by a different department company and everything like that. People are getting real creative, so that's cool. So I'm just proud of you guys for like doing that and kind of being yourselves.
Josh dressed up as Thor 2 years ago, and you know, look at him now.
Still has his
hey man, it's a look. It's a look, and he wears it well.
Definitely
something like the Fat Avenger Thor. That's what it is.
There he goes, putting himself down
Chris
again.
Hemsworth.
Gosh.
I just want you to know.
What's that?
Chris Hemsworth is just beautiful, whatever shape he takes.
It's true.
Yeah. My wife tells me awesome, like all the time. I'm definitely not Chris Hemsworth. No.
Dang.
There's a reason we have a podcast. I have a face for podcasting. So
you are on YouTube, you know, Josh, right?
Yeah, but nobody watches the YouTube because they see me and turn it off.
Well, you also at live events also too, so
Yeah,
that's where I get.
Eventually.
Yes. Oh, Frank, where are you based? I know we asked Amy, and Amy's in Atlanta. Where are you?
Well, I'm based in upstate New York, so not too far from you guys.
Cool. What part, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm closer to Albany, the Albany area.
Nice.
So, for those not in the know, so you take New York City, forget that exists. Albany, it's not New York City. That's basically what it is. It's whatever New York City isn't. It's smaller, it's quiet, nobody lives there. That's Albany.
I've been to Albany many times, actually.
And we have a big egg. That's our other claim to fame. We have a big old egg. Because someone thought that'd be a cool place to have a performance venue. And you know what? It is kind of cool. But yeah.
So let me ask you guys, do you know, as Brandon mentioned, we do live movie events. Like it's part of our mission has been trying to build a horror community in Rhode Island. Something that we just felt like was missing, and we wanted to create that ourselves because, you know, why wait for someone else to do it? Do you guys have horror communities that you are part of in your area, or are you guys part of something yourselves?
What?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, Amy, I think Amy definitely is, because Amy, you do horror trivia, so I think she's definitely more part of a few things than me. I've been kind of just starting my own things around here, because again, being in Smallbany, as we call it sometimes, things happen, but not that often. So, you know, if you're going to do something, you got to do it yourself. So that's kind of what this is all about.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I am originally from Atlanta, but I'm actually based in Los Angeles, which
sorry, yeah.
If you are a horror fan, like the people are here for you.
Yeah.
The way I met Kyle, well, okay, the way I really befriended Kyle, I met him because he hosts Simpsons Trivia, which I also do and excel at. I've got a nemesis and everything. And he was on a horror trivia team and asked me to join. And yeah, pretty much been going as long as they'll have me ever since. And from there, it's a really awesome group. It's Dead Right Horror Trivia, and it's actually filled with directors and people who wrote for Fangoria, and are like one of the hosts, Rebecca McKendry, actually she has a doctorate in this. Like she is a teacher and a professor. And I mean, the best story, the best way to put it is a story Kyle told me. They were one person short of a team one night when they were there. And so they kind of put out like, hey, is anybody by themselves? You know, you want to join us? And the guy who sat down was Larry Zerner, who played Shelley in Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Okay.
That's
so it's
awesome.
just like,
That is awesome.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. And it really is a very warm, slightly competitive, you know, when the trivia is going on. Usually we're friendly. But yeah, it's just a great community out here.
That is so cool.
There's a lot of people in LA.
Oh yeah. That's
a lot of weirdos.
Lives in LA, so it's real strange just living all the way down here in my small little corner of upstate New York.
I love upstate New York. I would grocery shop up there because of the Mennonites and their really cheap oatmeal and just about anything else you can get, including
they got those fun hats.
Josh is driving upstate New York for oatmeal.
Dude, you can get like bags.
The thing is, he's not lying. That's the truth. You throw a rock, you'll hit oatmeal, as they say. Well, I don't know who says it. I do, but I'm gonna ask not to throw any more rocks. But you know,
yeah. So I know when you guys had wanted us to come onto the Graveyard Shift, you guys had 2 films in mind. You know, where did that idea come from to kind of just say, hey, we want to take these 2 films and dissect these online with, you know, some of the horror community? Like, who came up with that idea?
Well, again, I don't like taking full credit, but every month me and Amy kind of collaborate together and basically come up with themes for our month. And we've been kind of wanting to do body horror, but not the same way everybody else does. Because again, everyone's done the Cronenbergs, you know, the classics. So I thought of doing like bodies of horror where they're different aspects of the body, not the whole thing, but aspects of the body that take on horrific appearances. So we did, what was it? Machine Girl, Tetsuo the Iron Man. Then we did like, you know, parasites on the body. So that's where we had brain damage and parasite. And
we did Killer Tongue and Teeth.
Killer Tongue, Teeth. Ooh, Teeth. Oh boy. Still trying to forget that one. Holy shit. But yeah, and then what was the other one we did, Amy? I think we did one other one, or do we not?
I think that was all of them. We also did I really enjoyed Mutant Month.
Okay.
Yeah, Mutant Month was
fun. I did go a little full Amy and I picked Tokyo Gore Police, but
nice.
No, Mutant
very
Month
close to my heart. The Japanese just do it real right. They do it.
What's the other one that's kind of like that? Is it Machine Girl?
I think
Machine Girl, which kind of between the 2 of them, we decided Machine Girl actually is kind of a better movie. It is more like respectful to its female characters. And it's just a little more cohesive. There is some problematic shit in Tokyo Gore Police, but man, I love that movie.
Yeah, and also Tokyo Police kind of like, I feel like there's points in the movie where they kind of just like, hey, we have this cool practical effect we made. Let's devote an entire like 10-minute scene to it and it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Whereas Machine Girl, every scene has a point and then it wraps up. That's kind of why I like that one a little better.
Yeah.
There's
Wait a minute,
certain... Dave.
Oh, go ahead, Josh. Yeah.
You liked it better than Killer Tongue?
No, well, Killer Tongue was awesome. We liked Killer Tongue.
Okay.
Killer Tongue was a better reprieve than Teeth when that was our double feature. Because Killer Tongue was fun. It's a bummer that movie is kind of lost to time as far as we can tell, because it was like a weird co-production and there's been no real re-release of that film. So it's kind of, unfortunately, stuck looking kind of grainy and fuzzy, which is a shame.
Yeah.
It is.
Because it has, how many like super famous people before they were super famous people, and Freddy Krueger playing a really weird, horny police officer?
Oh my God, yeah. Jonathan Rhys Meyers is in it. It's like one of his first movies. And there's an adorable moment between Doug Bradley and Robert Englund that it just made me appreciate the movie existing.
We had
like,
that little cute moment.
Oh, you two have an adorable bonding moment.
Yeah, no one's
Boris Karloff meeting. Like, you don't get that no more.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that you brought it up because when the original production company had it, or distribution company, they went out of business, and I ended up getting it for like $2 on DVD when DVDs first came out. I got it like a stack, and I was like, Killer Tongue, this is amazing. And I've never heard it talked about since. So
that's another reason why I brought it up, because I was just like, no one's talked about this. We gotta.
And that's kind of the fun. That's why the Graveyard Shift is a bit lighter, and we really do want to find random, silly, monster body stuff. Just it's a fun surprise for people, and like tell more folks about these movies.
Definitely. We definitely watched some underrated classic. Actually, one of my favorite ones we just watched was Wolf with Jack Nicholson.
Okay. Yep.
Not many people are talking about the movie. That movie is awesome. I'd never seen it before.
So we used to do it a little bit more frequently, like every Saturday. We used to do Slept On Saturday. And so that's when we would dig in the crates and kind of films that no one has talked about in a long time. So like like I said, when you guys post that stuff, it's really cool because sometimes we would get messages like, I never seen this fucking movie before. It's crazy. And so definitely sometimes we start to do a little bit more and kind of like being more creative and having other things. It's like sometimes you get lost in that. So it's like we're definitely going to start that back up. So
definitely, because again,
Saturday
they need their due.
Yeah,
Josh,
that was always tough though, because like after a while I felt like I stopped remembering films. It was like, oh, what am I going to put up this week? And we try to be as authentic as possible, so I don't want to just put up some bullshit just because I can't think of a better option. But like towards the end, when we had been doing it for like 3 years, and it's like how many more Slept On movies can I think of? It felt like I was just at the end, I was kind of glad we wanted to take a break from doing that for a little bit. But now it feels like we should revisit it again.
It's actually funny you say that about not getting them all out of the way first. That's why I've been trying to, like, when we first started, I was kind of doing a lot of the hits, and I was like, I'm gonna run out of these real quick if I just keep pitching my favorite movies, because we do double features, so it's 2 movies a week. So I was like, I'm gonna, like, because again, as you can tell by behind me, I'm a big Godzilla fan, and like I put maybe like, I want to say like 3 so far, but it's like if I put any more, like I'm gonna slowly run out of them, or I'm gonna get sick of talking about them real quick. So like I gotta find some other stuff and then pepper in the really good stuff, every once in a while. So that's been kind of fun finding that balance every month of when we plan our schedule at the end of each month.
What's awesome about horror movies? Every year more come out.
Yeah, and there's always one that you haven't heard of still.
Well, it's not just that like new stuff comes out; it's that more random stuff will end up on YouTube. It'll only be there for a little while, but one thing I've really enjoyed lately, and a few things I've found for Everything is Scary and the Graveyard Shift, is just kind of perusing, seeing what full movies are out there, because so it'll surprise you sometimes. I'm pretty sure it's still there, but if y'all haven't seen The Boxer's Omen,
that's a good one.
It is like, I don't think I even want to describe it. I just want y'all to see it. It is on YouTube, and that's kind of the interesting thing about like the free movies on the internet. Like they'll be there for a minute, but usually, you know, a lawyer comes along and snatches that down. It's gone forever.
Except so there's on emotion because they don't
care nature to their existence, and I just love, you know, finding them when I can find them.
Yeah,
definitely.
And it's funny, you know, like Josh has said, like there's a movie made every year. Like Josh was not even a fan of watching like new horror films. He would just sit there and say, you know, no, I'm not giving it a chance. I love my old films. And then now it's like so funny. He has this list he puts together. 2022, he has like a checklist like of all the films that he's already watched. I'm like, guy, for a person that did not like care for new films, like you're like killing me and Dave, like looking at our list, like we haven't seen this yet, you know. So
soon they'll be old.
Yeah,
they'll become old movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's planning ahead.
Yeah. Well, there's also apps. I got one of these these smartphones, and my kid told me how to look up apps. So you just type in horror movies in the apps, and all these apps come up. And I was like, "Whoa, this is all new stuff!" And
this really is
I
the
got to
future.
watch all these new movies.
I think they know how it works, Josh.
Josh just got a smartphone, what, a couple months ago?
It's been a couple years now.
Recording on a flip phone was the worst, right, Josh?
Hey man, there's charm to those, all right? There's some charm to those. No fuss, no muss, just flip it, shut it, calls only.
I miss my flip phone. I really do.
Just bought a CRT
I miss the simplicity. It's just easier.
Yeah.
More breakable, but easier.
Yeah.
Well, it would be hard to imagine us, like, you know, this whole podcast here, like obviously this stuff wouldn't even exist with years of the flip phone. So I mean, the cool thing about how things have advanced is nowadays, look at like what we've been able to create. Like the five of us can all get on here, connect about horror films, you know, connect with other people. It's just, the possibilities are endless. So it's kind of cool to think about, you know, what the potential is for all of us, like going forward with just building the community and getting people aware of stuff that we love. However ridiculous people might think we are for it, I mean, it's important to us. So I think it's cool.
No, I definitely can agree with that. I've definitely noticed the between me and Amy, the horror community has definitely embraced us when we've just like reached out, again, even reaching out to you guys, how receptive the community has been compared to a lot of places. Because again, I'm a cosplayer, so normally I've been recently trying to interview people just for funsies. And again, you get a lot of weird conflicting egos, but then again, I reach out to folks like you and stuff, and there's like, hell yeah, we love this stuff. We'd love to talk about it more. So it's like, you know, you never know who you're going to find in these communities and new friends you're going to make. I think we've made, I think within the last, again, within our year, we've doubled the amount of people that either watch our show or just people that we now know through the community to do more stuff like this. So again, just like you guys, you just reach out to people and kind of see what happens, you know. And again, it wouldn't have been possible without some of this new technology. Like Sam.
And I know for us, the issue we always have is like time. It's not about like the desire, and that's kind of been our response with people that we've tried connecting with. It's like, it's usually more about finding time or lack of time than it is about people not being willing. The horror community has been pretty generous, you know, overall. And when we first started to even like, you know, just still wanting to interact with us, it's sometimes we get a little bit of a reputation because we just get super busy in our personal lives and we take little breaks. And sometimes we're less responsive than others. And I think sometimes that can be taken the wrong way, but you know, genuinely we like, our whole mission is to just keep the community going and growing, you know.
And that's the thing, it's like sometimes it's even hard for us to get together and record. You know, we all have different work schedules. I work overnights, you know, and so Josh is working, he gets up around like 4 a.m. and you know, Dave's up, you know, he's working first and second shift and he's on call sometimes, and so it's like we try to just make everything work as like best as we can, you know. So, and that's the thing, it's just like you said, like the horror community itself, it's just like just helping people out, like, you know, taking that chance and just kind of like seeing that. I know that sometimes like when somebody sees, well, this person has this many followers, like, you know what I mean, like we don't care about how many followers, like that doesn't change anything. Like we won't collaborate with anyone willing to do it with anyone, you know, and that's the main thing about PVDR is kind of just showcasing everybody and kind of helping out and giving that hand, because it's just about helping people and kind of keeping the community going. You know, sometimes, like you said, we have some people, like we had when we started doing live events, you know, some people kind of look down at us, and then now like we have like big events going on, and then everybody's like, hey, you guys want to do this? And we're like, yeah, sure, you know, so always trying to help out, do everything we can. So
because a good conversation is a good conversation, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've had, because again, right? I mean, we've had people on again who just, we took a spin on them. We're just like, hey, this person's great. We'll have them on again. Who was it? We had Sarah Horror on. We didn't know that she was like an MMA fighter for 6 years. All you got to do is ask people what they do, and then you just find out the whole world. Yeah. So you learn crazy stuff. Again, just got to reach out to people. That's a good message just to relay to everybody else, including your listeners or viewers.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Number one rule I tell my kids all the time: ask. There's no harm in asking. The worst thing that can happen is nothing.
That's exactly what my dad says too. And that's what it really is. Again, if they say no, I move on. I find somebody else. So that's advice.
So
well, I wanted to ask you guys, so since you've been doing this, has there been any like really, really like, wow, I can't believe that moment just happened, or impactful moments, or have there been any really bad moments that will kind of stick with you? You don't have to throw names about anybody. I don't want any shade. I'm just curious.
Well, my never mind. Amy, I'll let you go first.
Let's see. Bad moments.
I think we might have the same bad moment, maybe.
Let's see. Well, we had a very strong reaction to the movie Teeth.
Boy, did we. That's my least favorite episode I've ever had to do.
So the response
was I'm glad that we were honest. I'm glad that we watched it and were open-minded. However, it was just, I don't know if it was just when we watched it or just the general mood of what was going on in the world. Yeah, there was just, it just felt kind of like a shadow over the episode. And I think, you know, the Roe v. Wade decision doesn't help, and it was literally just the timing. And I call it putting on my feminist hat. Yeah. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, but after a point, you're kind of, you know, you don't need to stay in the misery. Like, climb on out. It'll be okay. But that was a rough one. Yeah. Not one of our favorites. Again, it was a subject matter. Again, and also, we never plan this, but sometimes our episodes, when we have them planned out, again, sometimes the world just like, hey, want something relatable to happen today? Your episode comes out. I'm like, no, thanks. And it gives it to us anyways. Oh my God. But yeah, it just that one was just rough. Again, we still made it through, but it was just not my favorite thing to talk about. But we got to talk about Killer Teeth as a palate, not Killer Teeth, Killer Tongue as a palate cleanser. So at least we had that. I think that's why we liked it, because it was such a needed counterbalance.
Definitely. As for what was one of our favorites, Amy, would you say? So I think I got mine, but I want to hear yours.
Oh gosh. I mean,
or favorite outfit that we've done.
Okay, I think I know what yours is for me, but I loved when we did Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Yeah, I got my little lobster claws, little lobster googly eyes. Yep.
Now we're my Godzilla
it was just adorable, and it's one of my favorite things about Frank. He really encourages me, like I'll wear these, but he's the kind of person that says like, no, go for it. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter if you do your makeup perfect, like just have fun. Let's get into it. And so I really appreciate that. But yeah, lobster, and I do like my salty sea captain. I mean,
that one's, I love it. I think that one's watched Orca. Both dressed like old sea captains for that episode. That's when we did Orca.
Also, I have a weakness for aquatic horror, so of course we were going to do Orca.
Yes. As for myself, again, that's a real tough one, just because again, I have the unfair advantage of being a cosplayer and having, you know, everything at my disposal here. So I'm trying to think, in terms of recent looks with it. I think one of my favorite looks I did, I want to say, was when we did Death Becomes Her with Sarah Porter, where I basically did like a Frankenstein kind of look. That was one of my favorite ones just to do overall, because I think that one looked the coolest.
I think one of the most impressive is what you did for Parasite, the hand.
Oh yeah, for Parasite, yeah. I wish that thing fell apart instantly, but yeah, I had like a little fake eyeball on my finger, and I got those little plastic knives, and basically with some putty and what do you want to call it? Spirit gum. I like kind of like melded it to my pinky, so I had like the little knife part, and then I put I have acrylic teeth, like a bunch of individual acrylic teeth. I put onto my palm, and had like a little like a literal hand puppet. Of the character.
Oh, that's cool.
That one was fun. That one fell apart on camera. If you watch that episode closely, you can see the teeth in the hand start falling apart. But it was still super fun. Trying to think. Oh, I knew what else I liked. I liked what we did for what was it? It was for Demon Night. I liked that one. That one was fun.
That one was really fun.
I got to dress up like a skeleton cowboy. And I did my own homage to the Crypt Keepers. So that one was pretty fun.
Cool.
Super hard to see though.
Yeah. Demon Knight, the classic for sure.
I know we talked about like a few movies, but what are some of your favorite films that you guys like hold like to your heart? That you don't like people to sit there and say anything negative about. Like what are some of those films
that we've done for the show or in general?
Like your favorite films for each of you, like like whenever you love it so much you don't want to hear anyone say anything negative about it, like like just that number, like those number 3 films each.
Okay, got you. I think for myself, again, the obvious Godzilla films, but again, I like a lot of them. My controversial take is I really like the American version of the very first Godzilla movie. I like Gojira from 1954, but I also like Godzilla 1956, Godzilla King of the Monsters with Raymond Burr from that year. That's one I like a lot. A lot of people have kind of turned their back on that one just because the Japanese version exists, but I've gone on record on saying that there's so much value within the American version, at least of that first film, because Raymond Burr actually took time and effort and didn't phone his performance, and he actually gave a lot of respect to the source material. So I think that's alone is worth its weight in gold, at least as far as in a film adaptation or just a reinterpretation of a Japanese film is concerned. With a book,
I'm not a Godzilla fan, but I'm just gonna take your word for it because you sound like you know your shit. So that must be the best.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I am quite a fan. If you can see my
wow, that is impressive.
Connoisseur, maybe.
As you could see,
wow.
And yes, that guy up there, that guy's about 3 feet tall. That little dude up there.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
But I'm just saying, I'm a little bit of a fan, you could say.
Cool.
What about you?
I'm a big Godzilla fan, and I got this. This is the book of all books, and it goes through every release of a Godzilla movie from Japan, and what was edited in the United States. It goes scene for scene.
Wow, like huge ass book. Where'd you get that? You're gonna have to shoot me a link for that one.
It's literally like scene for scene what was shown in the American.
I've never even seen that book before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's called the Lost Cuts Editing Japanese Monsters. It's by John Lemmy.
Okay.
Highly recommend it if you're a huge Godzilla fan. I'm surrounded by other Godzilla fans. I've never heard of anyone having that book. I'm gonna have to pick that up.
You notice he avoided the answering your question of where you can get it, though. He doesn't want people to have it.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's only one copy, and you're the one who owns it. It's like a Highland thing. You got
my wife got me this, so I have no idea where she got it. But it's not just Godzilla, like Half Human, the Abominable Snowman movies in here. Like it's literally like King Kong versus Godzilla, like and then it goes into Godzilla later on, but it's literally every Japanese movie that was released here. Like
I need that book immediately. That's so cool. Holy shit.
It's thick too. It's like
I was noticing.
Get it, Josh. It's a big ass book. We get it.
Yeah, they're not getting up.
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to learn how to read again.
Open that book.
All right, Amy. So what is your favorite film?
Oh, well, I love making lists. It's something that I find calms my anxiety. So this is very easy for me. Because I've got my top 10. I'll give you my top 3.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Jaws, which I have a tattoo of.
Okay.
Sorry, it's a bad angle with the phone
Oh,
turning.
it's fine.
But best believe I have a Jaws tattoo. It is my favorite of all movies, not just horror movies. It was my first horror movie, and I'm still not sure if my dad showed it to me when we were visiting my aunt in Florida, and I was 8. And I'm still not sure if it was kind of a joke he was playing on me to show it first time there. But I've been loving horror movies ever since, and not swimming in the ocean ever since. So Jaws is number 1, then Evil Dead 2, and The Thing.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I like it practical.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think that's kind of how I judge a lot of movies. Like, oh, bad stuff happened, but that gore was really, really well done, and that'll win me over most of the time.
Amy is our resident gorehound on the pod.
That's awesome.
Hi.
So again, we usually can present her with kind of anything. She'd be like, ah.
Yeah. I wanted to share my my 2 favorite films. Serbian film and Teeth are my top 2.
Whoa!
Ooh, them's fighting words. Because now, I gotta go.
It's like you belong on a cross.
I have some things I need to sharpen.
No, for me it would be Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and Brain Scan was my other one, just because of nostalgia reasons. But those would be my 2. Brandon, what are your 2?
I grew up like a big Friday the 13th fan. So, Jason and the whole series, Michael Myers, Halloween, like everyone says, like, I think Halloween's like probably one of the best like complete films that was made, so also like you said, with like, and The Thing is right there with that too, like both of those films. But it's hard, what I mean? And then I always sit there and say, hey, it's easy to ask everyone else what's your favorite films, and when a question flips on you, it's like, right, I like this, but
only get one. I was like,
and I like one of my big films is The Lost Boys.
Ooh.
Yeah, like those. I think because like it all depends on when you watch a film. Like how that film kind of like changes your life. You know what I mean? And I would watch that movie over and over, and I think that movie like kept me out of trouble. Growing up as a kid, and I didn't grow up in a great neighborhood, so in a house most of the time, and then like having to watch a movie, and then like Lost Boys was like I just watched that movie over and over. So, Josh.
Well, Psycho Sisters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Number 1.
Have you guys seen Psycho Sisters before?
I don't think I have.
What do you think about it, Amy?
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. That's his favorite film of all time.
Yeah, I love that movie. I love the subtext where it's like, it's a rape revenge, and then it turns into 2 serial killer women, which was
what that was about.
What?
I mean, I watched it. I couldn't tell you what it was about, to be honest with you.
Oh, Dave, you're lucky. Chris got me the Blu-ray, and as soon as I get a Blu-ray player, we're having movie night at my house.
I told you I'll rewatch it. That's fine.
It got special things and everything.
I recently went over to the dark side, and I got a region-free Blu-ray player.
Ooh.
And I've been going nuts on eBay.
Hell yeah.
Amy, I wanted to ask you, so you're the gorehound of the group.
Yes.
I think we all appreciate gore. I don't know how many years ago, but I went through like a phase where I was like really, really, really into gore. And I wanted to just find the goriest film I could possibly find to see. I guess I was testing my limits. So I've seen a ton, but what would you say you would consider to be the goriest film you've seen?
Adam Chaplin.
Very, very possibly Adam Chaplin is up there. Dead Alive is up there, just due to like sheer quantity of gallons used.
Yeah.
I guess the reason it gives me pause is because I'm thinking about, okay, is it the most blood literally used or the most just gruesome stuff done? Because like the sadness was pretty gruesome. Let's see, Serbian film, not incredibly gory, but very unsettling gruesome. Goriest thing.
That's a really good point though, because like I think sometimes that gets those two things kind of get interchange, and you're exactly right. Some movies can be just super uncomfortable and unsettling without really showing much. A Serbian film is definitely one of those. It's almost alluded to some of the really, really, really unsettling scenes.
What's alluded to? They show everything.
There's something they don't show. There is something they don't show. And I'm not going to say it on air, but there's something that's, we know what's happening.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah, okay, they didn't show that.
Yeah, the rest of it is being shown. You're right. But then there's some that just have a ton of blood, and that does nothing for me. I'm like, oh, cool, blood. I really enjoyed the gruesome shit, I guess. But
I mean, I kind of never left that testing your boundaries kind of phase. It's just something that's all. It's like a fun challenge, and it also leads me to, you know, sometimes to terrible ends. Like I did not enjoy Mermaid in a Manhole. That was unnecessary.
Yeah.
But other times you find just crazy cool stuff. And yeah, it seems like this would be an easier question for me, but I think about it in so many different ways.
No, I understand. It's a really hard question. And I guess like I think when I would think about it, I would have a really hard time. I really loved the French like extremists, the new wave French films. I bring up Inside all the time because I just love that film. It was super gory, but it was like the pacing of it was so fast once it got going. And I just think the whole thing just threw me for a ride. But then Martyrs and Frontier.
Martyrs is very close to my heart. It's one of those movies that I love, and because I love my friends, I will never ever like let that cross their path.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, French New Wave, like talk about intensity.
Yeah.
Like High Tension is great. That's another, it's pretty gory. But I guess my speciality when it comes to, at least on Everything is Scary, I'm kind of the cannibal person.
Okay.
So I'm all about the cannibal holocaust and the ferox and the anthropophagus and all that.
Yeah.
So
those are
fun. I love Italian gore, and
I mean, we just watched
the Japanese. They know how to spray, like Tokyo
Yes.
Gore Police. That might be one of the goriest, most sprayiest.
Yeah, that one.
Adam Chaplin. Yeah.
Adam Chaplin was also really fun. That's an Italian production. But that was definitely made for me and Davis just to be little boys watching just a buff dude bust people's heads open with his fists.
I have to check that out. I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, Adam Chaplin. It's fun. It's an anime inspired like just like revenge picture where just a guy just like like the brief summary guy his lover is killed. He basically makes a pact with a demon to give him like unlimited power, and then he just goes on a revenge quest. But it's got like the most ridiculous like violence I've seen in a long time, and it's just like Amy said, it's like the fact that you put it close to the top of like the most bloody, gory movie she's ever seen definitely says something about how nutso this movie is.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm not saying it's great, but it's fun. It's fun.
Frank, I need to know what do you think about a Psycho Goreman?
You know what? I have not seen that one yet. I've been meaning to.
No,
I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think that you would love it. You know, because
the premise is like, what if a Power Ranger villain just started out amongst people?
Yeah, so I think that check it out and let me know. Message me and let me know what you think.
Oh, I definitely will. It's definitely on my list. I've just been again busy with a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I would definitely be watching that very soon. Actually, we should probably watch that for one of our next ones, given whatever our theme is for next month.
Oh yeah.
If you go to the people, we'll add it to the list.
We have an ongoing list, and it's sometimes I think we pick a theme just based on we got to talk about this movie. What can we do?
You know what? I think I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that honestly came to be with a handful of these things. Like actually this month's the month we just did or halfway through is it's wolf in sheep's clothing, where it's things that aren't exactly what they appear. And honestly, I did it just to watch Neon Demon and Suspiria because those paired so well together.
They really do. They really do.
Cool.
Yeah, because I think, because this week we're dark this week just because we got so much going on. Because next week we're going to be capping it off with the movie Branded and They Live, which are, again, two things about the corporation, see the underbelly kind of being actually evil as opposed to evil.
Yeah. I love the themes. You guys put a lot of thought into these films that you're picking. It's really cool. It's a great idea, and I hope that you guys will have us. The invite will come back. I know we couldn't do the previous invite, but
you guys are super busy. Again, there's 3.
We were looking forward to it. And ironically, we saw Brain Damage at Joe Bob came to a theater in Boston, so we had just watched Brain Damage for Joe Bob's thing. So it would have been super fresh, but unfortunately we weren't able to.
But how fun is Brain Damage? I've been always wanting to see that movie. That movie is so fun.
It's a great movie. I think I probably watched that movie like the most during like the pandemic. You know, I probably watched that movie probably over like 50
I honestly think they should show that in schools for like drug PSAs.
Oh,
like,
yeah, definitely.
It's so effective. Again, it's like not too heavy-handed, but it really, really does a good job of like showing what addiction can do to somebody.
Yeah.
With, again, not being like in your face about it.
Yeah, it doesn't glorify it. I mean, it shows you what it's cool to get high, but then it shows you what it like.
I mean, he got in that one girl's face pretty good. He got like right through the eye.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey man, that blue juice. Ooh, baby. Gotta get it.
So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. This was a pleasure. Yeah, absolutely.
This was a delight.
Yeah,
like you guys said, a long time coming. I'm glad we could make this work, and we'll look forward to hopefully connecting again soon.
Heck yeah,
totally.
All right, do we give our plugs or what do we do?
What's that?
Do we give our plugs for our
yeah, give your plugs.
Yeah. Because we do this always at our show. Amy, you can do yours first because you know I have like 9 million things.
Oh yeah, I'm the simpleton here. You can find me on Instagram at Gutter Butterfly, and you can find me on Twitter at my name backwards, Drole_Amy.
Right, and you can find me at my personal Instagram, which is my cosplay page. That's 8-Armed Spidey. That's the number 8, ARMEDSBIDEY. You can find us at Everything Is Scary, which is Everything Is Scary on Instagram, and on our Twitter at PodScary on Twitter. I also, as I mentioned, run the social media for our sister program, This Is Rad, which is This Is Rad on Instagram and This Is Rad on Twitter. So yeah, that's where you can find us all and all the cool stuff that we do. And also, before we forget, every Friday, except for this Friday, we run the graveyard shift, usually 8 o'clock, and we usually try to have a guest. If not, just us wearing costumes, having fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, again, thank you guys for having us.
No problem. And thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. And we will be back next week. Thank you.
Bye.